So I posted on my social media the other day asking people to drop their questions for this Q&A. So I'm going to run through them all now and hope it helps you all.
If you was to start from nothing today, what's the first thing you'd do?
If I had to restart from today, I've already got the knowledge to know exactly what I need to do to get to where I want to be. So the first thing I'll be doing is starting up my company, and I'll be creating an Amazon FBA selling business because that's what has got me to where I am today. And if I didn't have all the knowledge that I currently do, I'd be going out and seeking it, learning from other people so that I could get back on this route. Now, of course, there's plenty of ways to make money online. Amazon FBA is the one that I found, and it's the one that really aligns with me the most. So it just makes sense to go with that, especially because it has that long-term sustainability and room for massive growth. So I think it is just the option that makes the most sense.
How long did it take you to become successful?
It really comes down to your individual definition of success because, I feel like I've reached success within the fact that I've completed all the goals that I've set out for myself up until this point today. But with that being said, I'm always setting new goals for myself. That's a forever moving goalpost. That it's not like I can just reach X amount of money, for example, and then feel like I have become successful. So I'm proud of everything that I've achieved, but I feel like there's still more to go out for and still more for me to conquer. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm successful.
What's your opinion on people who work in trades, mostly outside in the cold weather, as it's good money, as in bricklayers, ground workers, for quick money?
I mean, the thing is with this, you can make good money off of doing a trade, right? But I personally haven't seen anyone in a position where they are making something substantial to the point where I would want that for myself. Like, yeah, they might be doing all right with it, but it's nothing crazy. And with that being said, every single day they're going to work and destroying their body for that. Not only that, but you can never achieve freedom from it. So yes, you could be getting paid good money, but even still, if you're not going to have that aspect of freedom in your life, to me, that's not really worth it. And especially if you go on to create a family, right? You'll then destroy your body to a point where you may not even be able to work anymore because your knees are fucked. And then how are you going to be able to provide for that family? You still need the income constantly rolling in. And if you're no longer able to work that same job that you've spent your whole life dedicated to, what are you going to do? You're going to be in a shit situation. So don't get it twisted. You can definitely make great money doing a trade, but how sustainable is it for the long term? And you're never really going to get that freedom aspect.
What's the hardest part of locking in and not going down the same path as your boys?
So for me personally, back before I started getting into business, all of my boys were kind of on the same thing, which was making money in the streets. Now, because I was surrounded by them on a daily basis, you become who you surround yourself by. So I started making money in the streets as well. And obviously that is not sustainable and comes with a whole different load of problems. Now, the only real way for you to elevate from that situation is to simply surround yourself by better people. So yes, it's going to be necessary for you to cut off those old people that you used to chill with in order for you to elevate and get around like-minded people who are also striving for success in areas of their life which is actually sustainable. Sometimes you just have to separate to elevate.
What's the biggest advantage and disadvantage in FBA and reselling clothes, etc.?
For reselling clothes, when I used to do that, the benefit was that there's not that much money coming out each month, so there's not many overheads. You can literally take orders and then pay your suppliers and basically drop ship the products, so there's lower overheads and it can be quicker money and higher returns. However, with that being said, it is more difficult to scale, and depending on which model you're using as well, it can be less sustainable. Also, the market for reselling has become so saturated because of the fact that it is low barrier to entry. So it's great if you want to start up and make some quick money, but to be doing it long term, it's not really going to be too achievable. Now, Amazon FBA, on the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, it has that room for growth and long-term sustainability. It can be relatively low barrier to entry still. The minimum startup amount is around £300. Now, of course, if you have more money, it's going to allow you to scale your business quicker because the more you can put in, the more you're going to get out. And the benefits to Amazon FBA is that you're not selling products that are from China that you have to spend loads of money on ads for. You're selling products that these big companies have already invested hundreds of thousands into to get those products selling well, get them well recognised within the market, and you're just jumping on that listing and taking a slice of the cake. So it's not that difficult, since you're already analysing data that exists and you're just taking that and using it to your advantage to then sell these products for a profit.
What inspired you to start Amazon FBA?
To be honest, I wouldn't say that I felt inspired when I first started selling on Amazon. I just saw somebody else doing it, and at the time I was looking to find something to put my money into, right? I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was trying out the reselling, crypto, forex trading, match betting. Some of them made me money, but the majority of them all flopped eventually, or I just didn't see the sustainability in it. So it wasn't really a case of I was inspired. I just saw another opportunity, and then when I started it, I soon realised that this can actually help me reach my goals, and it was something that made sense for me to get into.
How much of your time does FBA take day to day?
So when you're first starting out, you could be putting in 2 to 3 hours a day, let's say. That's going to allow you enough time to source the products and then package those up and get them sent off to Amazon. Now, of course, as you take things further, you may need to be putting more time in to get more out of it. Again, the more you put into this business model, the more you're going to get out. So whether that be money, time, effort, it is all a transaction to get out what you want. Now, with that being said, the further you do take the business, the more you can then outsource things. So you can delegate to, for example, virtual assistants who live out in the Philippines. I pay mine £2.50 an hour, and they'll sort out all the sourcing, so I don't actually have to spend my time finding these products. They just provide them for me and I purchase them. So that takes out a whole load of the process and saves a lot of time. Another thing you can outsource is the actual packaging of the products. So normally when you get them in, you'll label them and package them up yourself and create a shipping plan so that UPS come and collect that package from yours, and then Amazon are already knowing what it is inside the package, so it can just be loaded into your inventory. But you can outsource this too and have somebody either in the storage unit working for you packaging them up, or you can have your items shipped directly to a prep center where they will sort it all for you and you just pay them a fee.
What does the average day look for you now you are no longer packaging the products?
So now that I've delegated the sourcing of the products and packaging them, to be honest, I'll just spend the rest of my time training up my team so that they can be as efficient as possible, since that is now the highest leverage I have within my business. The more work they put in and the more results they get out for the work and time they put in, the more money that I can make within the business. So I spend a lot of time training them, and also just looking for ways that I can scale the business further and take it to that next level.
Your top 3 mentality tips on the transition from the roads to legit.
So the first thing is, if you want to change your life, you first have to change your mindset. Without elevating your mind, you're not going to be able to have that growth. It will just be unfamiliar to you. If you don't even know what is out there, you don't know your potential, how are you going to chase it? So you need to educate yourself. Now for me, I was reading books, especially like mindset books, and also watching YouTubers who are specialised in that sort of space, and that just allowed me to learn a lot more about what I should be putting my energy into in terms of business, in terms of becoming a better version of myself. The next tip is you need to ask yourself if you want to live your life looking over your shoulder, because if you're on the roads making your money, you are constantly paranoid. What if the feds get me? There's always a potential that something bad is going to happen. The reality is it's only ever going to end in one of two ways. So it is just not worth it. And thirdly, there is so much more money available out there in the world of business compared to making money in the streets, but the principles are still the same. You're buying things low and selling them higher. So there's no reason why you can't just put that same energy into a business and go way further.
How can I learn to sell on Amazon?
So if you're wanting to sell on Amazon for yourself, then you can literally go to the description of this video, click on the link and go to my website where you can learn all about how I can personally teach you how to start and grow your own Amazon FBA business and guide you along the whole process. Now I hope this video is helpful and answered all your questions. I'll make sure to do another one soon for you, so make sure you subscribe.